Hello, world. My name is Max Stein, and I love video games.
I'm the Megabuck, and I really love video games.
My name is Rafa Boy, and I love video games.
My name's Vinny, and I love video games.
And welcome to the Game Treasure Podcast, where we bring you treasured video games of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. This week, games about time. We're living in the future. I
figured you would have something prepared.
Yeah. No,
Let's all
I turned into a clock robot, I think, was that?
Yeah.
Oh no,
Max
it's the
doing the
boss.
time
For
warp.
the next year, and you're still writing 2023 on all of your checks and stuff.
Oh, shoot.
And then we've got some cozy game gems for you. I made everybody play a cozy game because, gosh dang, I don't know. I don't mean to dox us, but we live in Florida, and it's freaking cold here, y'all.
Cold for Florida.
My toes are freaking freezing, y'all. So we're bundling up with some cozy games.
Wearing a hoodie.
Yeah, just for those who don't know, when it turns 60 degrees in Florida, we go into hibernation.
Yeah.
And it's a real problem.
The hoodies come out when it gets anything hoods on.
I'm
too
dropping
cold.
like the iguanas out of trees, man.
Facts.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start off with some news. We've got one pretty big, interesting story, and then a couple little tiny things I want to talk about just because they're fun.
Okay.
So the big one, which I'm going to need Buck's help with, because Buck is a business brain guy, and I don't know nothing about no business. But Bobby Kotick,
yeah.
the CEO at Activision Blizzard, which got acquired by Xbox this past year. It was last year, right? Or was that year before?
It's been going on for a couple of years trying to close
before
it.
Diablo 4 came out.
That whole Monopoly thing, it had to be approved.
And so now him and a lot of other pretty high-ranking like executive people at Activision have all resigned.
Oh.
Like just in December, just all one after another. So I got my information from a Verge article, but basically they were saying this is Xbox's way of cleaning house over at a studio that may have garnered some bad will from gamers in recent years, to say the least.
Well-deserved bad will. I mean, oops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was just everything you hear about the guy is he was kind of a scumbag human being, like to his staff, women in particular. And he just every time you heard about like a weird, stupid monetization plan at Blizzard, or Activision, or either, it was his fault.
Oh, it's this guy. Yep. This guy's to blame then. All right.
He is the godfather of microtransactions or whatever. The you know what I mean? The Overwatch skins, the Diablo. What was it? Resurrect. What was the mobile one called? Not Resurrection, but does anybody
You guys are gonna
remember?
Love it. Don't worry about what it's called.
Yeah.
Mac.
Don't you have phones?
Don't you have a phone?
Yeah.
That's the name of the game. Yeah.
Fucking pleb.
He's out, and that was before.
Benny's on fire today.
I almost skated right over that one.
Zing.
This is the same guy that was responsible for when the merger was going on between Activision and Xbox. He said, Call of Duty and Diablo 4 will absolutely not be coming to Game Pass Ultimate ever.
Huh.
But now,
They
see,
sure are,
there's been a little bit of changing of the guard. Xbox is talking about swapping it up. Now it's sounding more and more like, you know what? Actually, maybe it will come to Game Pass.
Like the same reason why Blizzard has worked on like 0 Switch games until really recently with like I think maybe Diablo 4 is coming. So I don't even know if it is, but is because when Nintendo was showing it off and announcing it, he's like, that's stupid. No one's going to want that. Don't develop any games for that, teams. Okay, everybody hear me? Okay, don't do that. We'll make it for the phone instead. And he just didn't have his finger on the pulse of anything.
Yeah.
Just completely
and of course,
out of touch.
Like Buck had mentioned, there's scandals over there in regards to just general misbehavior and misconduct, which is just not good.
Right.
I didn't even
So
know
it's
who
just-
this guy was. Honestly, I had to look him up right now, and I was looking up like looking through Wikipedia, and I found a line here that says he
it's all
focused on developing intellectual property that he can, in his words, it can be exploited over a long period of time. It's like
Right.
exactly what's wrong with
Yeah.
the gaming industry
Yeah.
right now.
He didn't want
Wild.
Diablo. He wanted them to create. Hi, my name's Cerebola, the main character from Diablo, and we can make 4 spin-offs of me and turn it into a franchise. And
Right.
Yikes.
that's what he would want.
This guy loves
Yikes.
money. He's like he's Scrooge McDuck of the video game world, basically. Like,
There was a picture of him
terrible.
online. He looks like an evil Kyle MacLachlan. Like the picture that I found in there looks like evil Kyle MacLachlan.
That's a really fair comparison.
Yeah.
I can see it. I can see it.
and after watching Twin Peaks season 3, we all know how much damage evil Kyle MacLachlan can do.
Oh
Yeah.
my!
He really
Yeah.
fuck shit up.
Oh my gosh.
But
Got
yeah,
the bob in him.
Yeah.
generally good news, I'd say. I think that this will push
Agreed.
Activision in more of the zone that Xbox has taken with Game Pass, which is they just want you to sign up and play.
Yeah.
They don't have to microtransaction you a lot of stuff to get you to think that Game Pass is good. And so maybe these Activision games will start coming out for that and be a little bit less invasive,
I care more about Blizzard starting to make good games again.
honestly.
Good God!
Like Diablo 4 was all right, but it was they totally sold it as a live service kind of game. I played season 1. I was done with all except for the end game grind content in like 3 or 4 hours. Like this season's like 2 months long, guys. You realize that, right?
Yeah. Sad state. All right, so let's go on to the next story. That was the big one. This one is just a little fun one that I found, which is I got an IGN article that I read. That is, there is a X-Men 97 comic coming out. That is,
Oh baby.
let me rewind a little bit.
Bro, I
There was
saw
an
that too.
announcement a couple months ago that there is a rebirth of that kick-ass X-Men comic from 1997. It's got the same art style. I don't even know if the same voice actors are like still alive or working or what
Right.
have you. But it takes place after the series from 97. And so they just announced a comic book which will tie the end of that series to the beginning of this new one.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
So
Any more
excited.
X-Men?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
I
just
love
more
it.
X-Men in
Guys,
general. Like,
isn't X-Men about to hit that statute of limitations with Sony or whatever, to where it's going to be Marvel Cinematic Universe owned by Disney technically soon? Isn't that
Whoa.
coming up?
well, they acquired
not know
Fox,
That'd be great.
and Fox owned the rights to like the Marvel characters in the movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, but like it's that whole Spider-Man thing, right? Where Spider-Man
Right.
was technically
Sony,
not theirs
right.
for a while, and
Yeah.
then now it is. And isn't X-Men coming up on that same kind of weird agreement?
Is
Something
it
to look
that?
into.
Yeah, I don't
Is
know
it them
anything
or is
about
it the
that.
Fantastic Four?
We know Fantastic Four for
There-
sure is
okay,
because
yeah. That's what I was
freaking
thinking.
Pedro Pascal is going to be Mr. Fantastic. That's all but confirmed, right?
Wow.
Yeah,
Whoa,
he's-
I
he's
didn't
been
know
cast,
that. That's
yeah.
awesome.
He
What a
has been
joy.
cast. Okay.
That
Yeah.
kicks ass.
That rumor like beat around about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and then like 2 days later it was like confirmed. Like, that's
Confirmed.
cool.
Okay. Okay.
This comic
Go grab
book
a
will be
LaCroix.
this go for it. Man's gotta hydrate. He's on brand.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's so funny. This comic book is written by I don't know why I didn't get their first names, but Fox and Espen are the writer and artist respectively. They already collaborated together on another comic, apparently, like called X-Men 92, House of. I'm not good with Greek letters, but House of XCII. What number is that?
Oh, the C. I don't know the C.
XCII.
I don't know what the C is.
Well, it's
Uh,
House of. It's
Like
Siang?
100?
I don't know.
apparently
yeah, I think it's 100, yeah.
it's a retelling of another Marvel comic book called House of X.
Oh, I never
House
read
of
that. I read House
X
of
or
M.
House
I didn't
of-
read House
Not
of
Yeah.
House of M, where
House
all
of
the
M was
mutants
so good.
die. But in
House of
House
M
of
was
X,
really good.
Die. They just go away for a little bit.
in House of X, it's about all of the mutants, both good and bad, like teaming up because they get
Oh.
some prophecy from
Yeah, yeah,
Xavier,
yeah.
like someone from the future comes, and so they team
Oh.
up on Genosha, and so
Yeah,
now
dude,
the
I've been
premise
reading
is
these.
all of the X-Men, including the villains, every mutant is on a team together, led by a Cyclops that's wearing this insanely crazy, huge Daft Punk helmet.
It's the big X,
fun.
right? The big X
Okay.
helmet.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah.
These guys did a version of that comic using the character designs and sort of plot from that 1992 X-Men.
Beautiful.
So, or that 1997 X-Men.
Oh, okay. Not the one
And
from a couple
so-
years ago. A different
Got it.
one.
I'm talking about the 90s cartoon. They used
Oh.
that art style
Cool.
to recreate this House of X
Mhm.
storyline, and that's what nailed them this job to get
Oh.
this cartoon.
So this
So good.
This
Or
cartoon
this comic
is supposed
book, I'm
this
sorry.
comic book is supposed to be the filler between the two, right? The comic book picks up where the cartoon left off. Is that right?
Yes.
So I had to look this up to see if I remembered correctly. But at the end of the last season of the original series, something was wrong with Professor X. He went off with Leandra and the Shi'ar Empire to go like get healed, which
Mhm.
means Professor X is off world.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
either Cyclops or Magneto is going to have to be the leader of the team to do like a fill-in.
Or maybe something in the comic book. Maybe he'll come back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
probably.
Like, and it'll be about getting back Professor Xavier or something.
But
like, I know
well,
in
if it picks up right afterwards, then there's got to be unless it has a little time
Oh,
skip.
for a
I
brief
guess.
moment, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
the comic book might have a Magneto leader.
Is
It's
it
always
related
fun. They've
at
done
all?
that before.
Like, is it related at all to like I was reading I'm a big X-Men fan, reading like the last run, the Jonathan Hickman run, and that was kind of similar. It was like, oh, all the mutants all have their own nation now. They have their own like island nation,
Mhm,
and
that's
like
it.
Magneto and Xavier are like buddies
That's
now.
the-
Like they,
That's
yeah.
the House of X event.
That's I have that book. It's really
Mhm.
good, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, I've never shown this on here, but I have a
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
X-Men
Wow.
tattoo.
Nice.
Yeah.
Look at that,
Huge
dude.
X-Men
Yeah.
tattoo.
And I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
crap for liking Cyclops.
Beautiful.
Oh man, I
Oh,
love
that's
them both.
like-
It's
yeah,
like
cool.
I call them the Holy Trinity. You know, it's
I have
yeah.
another sweatshirt that is like Cyclops' X-Men 97 outfit. Like it has the big yellow
That's awesome.
Ooh.
on it.
It's so corny and awesome.
I love
All right,
Cyclops.
we gotta.
He's my homeboy.
I've seen that one.
I love
remember
X-Men
now.
so much, though. I have the 6-player X-Men arcade machine that I hunted for years.
Oh
right.
yes,
And
yeah.
years and
You know
years.
what?
That's not
Thank you.
97,
That's
but that's
I
cool.
almost had us move on without. Thank you, Buck. Thank you so much for bringing that up.
I hunted this thing for years. That's me and my
It's a
buddy Kurt. That was like
Yes.
over 10 years
Yes.
ago.
wild.
That cabinet
It's
is
right,
like
it's right over there.
6 feet wide.
It has
Holy
two.
Not
It has-
really, but I mean,
it-
it's
No, that's pretty close. It has
Is
two
it? Yeah.
CRT monitors in it, but see, CRT monitors have a magnetic field, so skip all the nerdy shit. They cannot be next to each other. They'll interrupt one another. So
didn't know
one is
that.
up here, and one is down here with a mirror reflecting its image, so it looks like they're next to each other.
Mm.
That's so awesome.
So
and
this one's like a
stupid. I love
flipped
it.
image, backwards image, and it's up here, and it goes. Yeah, it's a mess, but that's what they had to do to make poor man's widescreen back in like 1992.
That's
and
rad.
it is such a good way to play the beat 'em up is to make the
Oh, yeah.
screen extra wide. It's a brilliant
and have
idea.
6 people too. It's the only beat 'em up where you get that many.
Oh
going,
my
right?
god, a true 6-player arcade like stand up is just god level.
Mwah,
Oh, yeah.
bellissimo. All right, we got
Yeah.
to move on.
yeah.
All right. First segment of today. As I stumbled through earlier, the year has progressed. We're living in the future, and I wanted to reminisce about the passing of time. And so this week, we're talking about time games. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean mechanics have to do with manipulating time? Does that mean the storyline is me as a time traveler? Hey, yes. Yes to all of those is what I'd say. I asked my co-hosts here to pick a game that made them think about time and then bring it to the podcast. So I'll go first. The game that I picked is a wonderful, entirely FMV video game
Ooh.
called Immortality. Now, I played Immortality first on Game Pass. It is a Sam Barlow joint. So Sam Barlow is the guy that did Her Story, which
Oh.
I think won Game of the Year when it came out, but it's
Oh, that's
a
a good one.
narrative exploration sort of mystery game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's published by Half Mermaid and also by Netflix. I found out it's partially
Interesting.
published by Netflix, which is but it's got a bunch of writers, including Sam Barlow. And the reason it has so many writers is because the premise of this game is that you are watching a bunch of full motion videos of a young actress who has gone missing, and you gain that knowledge
It's such a cool
via
game.
context clues.
Yeah.
And the entirety of the gameplay is just scrubbing through scenes of movies, like actual full motion video movies. And they're from, I want to say three or four of her different films.
Mhm.
And you and what happens is you watch the clip, you can pause the clip at any time and click on anything in the scene, and I mean anything. And what the game will do is take you to another clip from one of her movies that has that item in it. So if you're like watching a scene where she's checking into a hotel, and in the hotel lobby there's a plant by the desk, if you pause the scene and click on the plant, the game will go, it'll like push in and then push back out, and you'll be in another scene where there's a plant in the room. Maybe not that same plant, but whatever. And it's kind of like a mystery about solving what has happened to this woman. But the reason I bring it to our time game discussion is because the entire game is just moving this fake actress's reality forward and backwards through time. If you've ever edited any sort of video on a nonlinear editing software, then you know what I'm talking about. You end up watching the same clip 100 times,
Over again,
forward
yeah.
and backwards, slow motion, forward, backwards, jumping. You know what I mean? And since you can watch this woman's career over time, that's another aspect of time where in which, you know, in her first movie, she's really young and she's this actress who's dying for this part. And she has this like Martin Scorsese style director who's sort of like being a little bit manipulative with her, and he's sort of pushing her to her limits. But then in, you know, what appears to be a decade later, they age the actress up, and the movie has a different film quality to it. Like it looks like they've switched from film to video. The whole thing is such an interesting examination of this woman's life. And I won't spoil it, but there is a mechanic involved with the scrubbing the footage in slow motion that sort of gets revealed to you just as you play. There's these sort of tense moments of the footage where music will overlay itself, and you're like, is that in the movie, or is that sounds like it's coming from the game? And then you slow down time in those moments and something happens that I won't spoil, but it is totally like almost psychedelic, like Inscription, where you're just sort of like, what is happening? This game is so strange. I'm not
That's
even
a trippy
sure
game.
what is the game and what is like this artistic experience that I'm having. But yeah, you can play it on Game Pass, but I believe it's on Steam as well.
Yeah,
Immortality
is, yeah.
by Sam Barlow.
that's cool.
What a
Neat.
kick-ass
good
game
pick.
about time.
I have
One of the
a pretty
reviews-
I have a pretty extensive FMV collection, both on and offline, and that's a good one. But I haven't played it yet.
It is really good.
That's cool.
But
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
on.
one of the reviews called it Lynchian in nature.
I would say
pretty
so.
accurate.
Yeah.
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 Well,
I had
That
two
sounds
on
cool.
here that are pretty different from each other. The first
Give me
one
one.
is I'm going to say then Blinks the Time Sweeper for the original Xbox.
Oh, baby, let's go. What a
Blinks?
go
deep cut.
on.
Let's deep
Go
cut.
on.
What?
It was a release or close to release title for the original Xbox. It was an Xbox Game Studio game.
I
You play as-
can't even sit in my chair straight. You got me all excited.
Ooh.
Spoiler: you play as Blinks, who is a time sweeper. He actually works for like a company, and that's what they do is they keep the continuity of time, going. This princess gets kidnapped, taken to some other time dimension, whatever. Blinks decides he's going to go save her because he falls in love or whatever. And so you have to play through separate levels. Everything is in like a level. It's not an open world exploration game. It's get from point A to point B, basically at the end kind of thing. And it's part Luigi's Mansion, part platformer. And what I mean by that is Time Sweeper. He has a vacuum cleaner, and you'll like suck up like barrels and other things, and you can spit them back out. That's like your weapon. But the fun part is you get items in each level that give you time manipulation powers. You can use the stop button. If you don't know what a VCR looks like, kids, the buttons will confuse you. You can use the stop button to like stop. It freezes the level around you, but not Blinks himself. So the enemies freeze where they're at. If there's platforms, they freeze where they're at. All that stuff. There's a slow one where you could just slow mechanics. So say there's a bunch of barrels coming down a thing at you. You don't need to use your stop to do it. If you use a slow, you'll be able to handle it. And you even get like a rewind one. So like, oh no, I've come to this bridge and it's all broken. You use your rewind for that level, and it rewinds time, and the bridge rebuilds itself, and you can get across it to the other side.
Hell yeah!
So
I totally forgot about those mechanics. That game kicks ass.
This looks.
I remember
dope.
I worked at a software et cetera when that game came out. I remember selling it, but I never actually played it. So good pick. I want to check it out.
Really nice pick, Buck. Excellent work. Really good.
Street Fighter mug, love it.
Okay, so I kind of struggled with this one. I was looking around at stuff, and I decided at first I was like, let me go with maybe something that like makes me think about the passage of time, something that I almost went with like Outer Wilds or something like that with the time loop, but I actually decided to go with something that has time as kind of like a central mechanic, and that's Risk of Rain 2. Yeah, at first doesn't really seem like
that game.
I love that game. Yeah, no, I love the first one, and then this one just like expanded on it so much. It's Hapu Games is the developer, published by Gearbox Publishing. It's on Steam, and I think it's also on. I think it's on just about everything. I'm pretty sure it's on Switch now. For sure. But
yes, it is.
Yeah, it's basically you are crash landed on this planet, and you guys are trying to fight through hordes of monsters and aliens trying to escape. And you get dropped into each level. Have to clear everything out, find the teleporter. When you activate the teleporter, it activates a boss fight where hordes of enemies are coming, and there's also a giant boss you have to fight. But the time thing comes into play because the longer that you take to do a run, the harder the game gets. Right. Even after you've killed everything on the map and you're waiting for the teleporter, you're looking for loot, there's a little counter on the top of the screen up here somewhere, and it's just progressing. You see it start off at easy, very easy, and then it starts going to easy, medium, hard, and then eventually it's red and it just says I see you. Just I see you. But
because it's like the Overlord looking at you, chasing you down.
It's a lot of fun's gonna come get you.
Yeah, but it reminds me of the inexorability of time.
The ending kind of as you unlocked more of the characters too, and you unlocked the true last level, like that was very much so like a time rip kind of thing too.
Oh yeah, I've gotten to that final boss. I played this with friends. Typically, whenever we play it, get like 3 or 4 people together, and we've gotten to that final boss. Gotten real close to beating it and haven't been able to beat the damn final boss.
The one in the sky.
In the sky, the guy with the hammerhead dude. It's,
this is one of those games where like has that little bit of roguelite to it, where as you play it more, you unlock more characters and they all play different. You unlock more levels. You think you beat the game, and then all of a sudden you can choose: do I go to that sky level there, or do I loop back to level 1? And get stronger and stronger and do it.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Oh, yeah. You don't even have to go to the end. You can just loop back around if you want.
No way. All right. I learned something new. But yeah, that's my pick. It's a fun-ass game. I would definitely recommend it to people.
Hell yeah. Mr. Venicor, your time game, please.
Oh, my gosh. Speaking of time, let me take you guys back in time to the mid-90s. Mid-90s. I got something for you. Back in the mid-90s, birth of full motion video happened on this system you may have heard of called the Sega CD. But if anybody remembers the Sega CD, you had to have a second generation Genesis with the Sega CD add-on, plug that thing together in this massive monster of a game console. Well, back in, I believe, 1995.
You mean like this?
Oh, there it is.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, wow.
However, back in 1995, Sega released this little contraption called the Sega CD-X, which is the size of a portable CD player and is a fully functioning, there it is, a fully functioning Genesis and Sega CD all in one. There was this game studio called Digital Pictures, which in my opinion was the birthplace of FMV games.
Okay.
And one of their very first titles was this game called Ground Zero Texas for the Sega CD. Now,
I think I've heard of this game.
This is interesting because my take on
Watch me
time.
played it 400 times.
Okay, yeah.
We're talking about the passage of time in real time, because the way that this game worked is there were a bunch of locations around this little Texas town that sits at ground zero, and
it's a line from the game.
Straight from the intro of the game.
That's really funny.
You had to shift your perspective between these different parts of town in order to see what was happening right then in real time, because it was this alien imposter story. Some of the people in this town had been replaced by aliens, and you didn't really know exactly who it was.
Yes, I do remember this
game. You had to go
game.
sleuthing around town in real time to find out where these aliens were hiding to progress the game. And if you did not move around fast enough efficiently in real time, you failed the level and you did not get to go forward. So it was really like, as soon as you hit start, the clock starts. And if you're not moving your ass around town, finding these happenings and goings on in real time, you were losing. So
I cannot wait to put up the footage of this
Wow.
game
My
take-
overlaid
my
on
take
this
on
video
time-
because
oh,
it's
and
so
it was-
funny.
it was gritty. It was like,
People getting
320p or whatever.
Yeah.
The video quality
Yeah.
back then
Yeah.
was
Was
just
hot
awful.
garbage.
But,
This is
but
incredible.
if you
So good.
remember those games like Sewer Shark and Night Trap and Ground Zero Texas, those, and then the Holy Trinity, Corpse Killer, Slam City, and Supreme Warrior, those were like the better ones.
Yeah.
But Ground Zero Texas is one of the early Digital Pictures games, and the whole game
So
is
good.
played live in real time, and that was the whole mechanic.
And
Like,
fun
Excellent
fact, that was
pick.
the fun
Excellent
Sega CD game that I ever played. That was the
Ground
first
Zero
one.
Texas was
the
was
first
cool.
one.
The first
was
one.
cool.
Yeah, sorry.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent pick. Yeah, we have two full motion video
Mm.
games this week. Are we gamers?
Awesome.
I think so. All right, we got to move on to our next segment.
What? Oh no!
You must be from the Bravo team.
All right, and we're back. Our next segment here is those cozy gems. As I mentioned, it's the thick of winter. It's so cold outside. So I wanted us to talk about games. Yeah, thick of winter is that was bad. We want to talk about games that make you feel like maybe you're curled up with a warm blanket. We thought about, is a cozy game a game that you can just sort of play forever and ever that makes you feel happy? Maybe that'd be more of like a junk food game. For me, I kind of wanted to go with games that make you feel all warm and cozy. I'll go first to try to explain further what I'm talking about, because the game that I played this week is a game called Unpacking. Unpacking is developed by
I know that
Witchbeam.
game.
That's a fun
It's
one.
an Australian developer, and it's published by Humble Bundle. I love Humble Bundle so much. They make so many good games. This game won a BAFTA award, and it got a Game of the Year award by Eurogamer. It's free on Game Pass, like most of the things that I play. And the gameplay is just that. You're unpacking a room. There's sort of like what's it called? Atmospheric storytelling, some Dark Souls style atmospheric storytelling going on by the fact that your first room that you get is clearly a room for a child. And then your boxes are filled with things like your toys, maybe a notebook, a diary, things like this. You've got a young girl's clothes, it appears. After you unbox everything in that, you get to a little chyron that says 7 years later, and that person is moving into their college dorm room or something like this. And then now they have different kinds of objects, and they add more rooms. And so you'll get in your first apartment, you have a bathroom and your room. And so, but all the boxes start in your room. So you'll have to take stuff out of the box. And if it's a towel, you'll go, this belongs in the bathroom. And the way you move on is just when you unpack all the stuff and you've placed it somewhere. And there is kind of a restriction. You can't leave your toothbrush on the ground. Like the level won't let you continue unless you have like it'll be like toothbrush on the ground.
Unlike real life.
I don't.
It won't let you be a heathen.
My girlfriend said, I can't put my book bag on the ground. And I said, no, I think they want you to put it on the hooks. And she goes, I don't want to put the book bag on the hooks. It's got caca on it. And I was so funny.
Just hang it on the hook, for God's sake.
It was so funny.
That's
Raise
magic.
you to alarm?
Progress or not.
Yeah, she was like, I want to leave my perfume on the toilet because the toilet is stinky. And I was like, no, but the toilet's got poo-poo on it. And then you can touch it when you think you don't want
It's all poo-poo and caca with you guys.
Mac,
I can't
if this
leave
is your
shit just
girlfriend,
lying
I got
around.
bad news.
But yeah, it's so there's no losing. It's got a really cute I guess it would be like a 32-bit aesthetic. It's kind of sprites, but not really. I don't know if you could clarify what that is. Kind of looks like a Genesis game to me, I guess. But
Yeah, and it's got like that 80s kind of aesthetic with lots of neon-y colors in it.
Yeah.
I remember when it was kind of hot on Twitch a couple of years back or whenever it came out.
it's really good. It's got an excellent soundtrack as well. There's sort of just like lo-fi beats to study/chill to playing while you're unpacking.
Cool.
And in the first level, there's a whole bunch of space. Like there's shelves, and you're going, man, there's a lot of room here. I don't think, but there's 3 boxes, and by the end, you're like, oh man, this is kind of like a puzzle game because there's a lot of shit to unbox, and you got to find a place for all your toys, and it can't be the ground because you can't put toys on the ground.
What are you,
Wow,
a child?
this is
Tish
so
had like all the
detailed.
stuffed animals on the bed, and then she had 2 little like My Little Pony dolls on there, and the game said you can't put the My Little Pony dolls on the bed.
But I'm
How
playing
dare
with
you put the My Little Ponies on the
And I was
bed?
like, it's because they're hard
How
plastic.
dare
You'll
you.
roll over and they'll hurt you in the middle of the night. You can't put the hard
yeah,
plastic toys
That's
on
true. That's true.
You don't take Hot Wheels cars to bed, kids, do you?
there. They belong in the toy box, which there is, and you can open it up and then put stuff inside. It was
Oh,
really cute.
shit.
At one point,
That's
my
funny.
last thing in the first level, I didn't. It was I played it and I was like, oh, this is cool. Tish, you should play. And then she played it and she did. I didn't even realize you can lift the pillow up under your bed and you can put. She of course put her diary underneath the pillow with like a little flat. And I was like, this game
Clever.
is adorable. I
Clever.
love it.
There's a little GameCube
yeah.
in one of the screenshots that I looked at. I'm
Yes,
looking at it as
like
a
a little
little
console, yeah.
When you're in
pixelated
college or something,
GameCube,
yeah. Unpacking
Accurate. I
Witch
feel
Beam
attacked.
games.
Oh, that is very accurate.
It's really, really,
GameCube in
really, really
college.
good.
Yeah.
Buck,
Yeah,
What do you got?
I did another jump back to a PSP game called Loco Roco.
Hey, all
I know
right,
this
good
one.
That's a
choice,
good-ass
bro.
game,
Good
yeah.
You've
choice.
never played Loco Roco and you are aware of like what Katamari Damacy is.
Okay.
It's kind of the same thing, but instead of forward rolling 3D, it's side scrolling, and you play as these little blobs, which I don't know, they're probably called Loco Rocos, who knows? I forget the name. They make cute
those are
little sounds
Rocos.
though.
They're pretty loco.
So it's like this little like yellow blob, and it's a PSP. So you use your L and R button to like tilt the world inside of the screen, and that's what
Mhm.
moves your character doesn't actually move. You can jump, but your character doesn't actually move. You move the world around them, and as you collect more blobs and fruits, your little blob guy gets bigger, and it's kind of like a platformer puzzle. Like at the heart of it, you like make the little blob jump once he's big enough, and he can break through a little wall. But it seems like every time the game like tries to kill you, like, oh no, there's spikes, you actually jump off and a breeze catches all your blobs and they go
Ah, cute.
The blobs
they
can
land safely.
separate, right?
you don't
And
not
then come
on
back
purpose,
together?
not like on purpose. Like stuff in the levels can make them separate, but then when you keep them together they all like go back together.
They become
all come
bigger,
back.
right? Like
Yeah.
they'll literally like blob, like Dungeons and Dragons style blob,
Yeah.
like separate into 2
Yeah,
and
but
stuff.
it's fun, kind of like one of their follow-up games, Patapon, which was like a music-y style one. It's very chill, it's very laid back.
Patapon. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
There's nothing
Wow.
really like. There's nothing really high stress about it. He was a button press man.
Yeah.
It was a
The
beat
funny-
game.
Yeah. The funny thing about this though is, so Japan Studio made that game, made both those games, Loco Roco and Patapon,
Loco Roco,
and
yeah.
they're like a first-party developer for Sony Interactive, but they also went on to make the Team Ico games, Legend of Dragoon, and Bloodborne.
Wow,
So-
really?
Oh my.
Total opposite.
Oh my god! Wow.
Like But anyway,
I did
but yeah,
not know that. That's a nice little piece of trivia there.
they've made they're like an internal studio for Sony, but they've made some really like all over the
I
place
think
games.
does
over
that
the
same
years.
team make that Pikuniku game?
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure,
They-
but that
they
game
made it-
reminds me a lot of in Pikuniku you play like a little pill-shaped guy who rolls
Oh, fun.
from left to right.
Mhm.
And it kind of reminds me of Loco Roco a little bit.
Yeah.
I looked up Loco Roco when you talked about it, and I put up a little picture in the chat because I found the first thing I found was an image that I thought was kind of funny, which is the Loco Roco guy just absolutely
With a-
caked up.
With a butt.
What?
They gave the
Just-
Loco Roco a butt.
Yeah, just the
Let's
thickest.
see what we've got here.
I don't remember what these little slimes
Oh,
are called.
nice. Very
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just packing some cake.
Big emoji butt. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's funny.
Nice. Raph, what did you bring
yeah,
us for the
so,
cozy games today?
I'm excited about this one because I discovered a new game and I fell in love with it. But I kind of was struggling with this one too because I don't play a lot of cozy games. And looking around on different lists and stuff, I found Strange Horticulture. Have you guys ever heard of it? Or
Oh,
No.
I've seen this. Yes.
It is a cute little game where you have inherited basically a plant shop and kind of like it's got very
cute.
Lovecraftian vibes. Like you
Wait,
you
did
know,
you
everyone's
say
very
Lovecraftian?
Yes.
yeah, cozy and
You
said
Lovecraftian.
you went from
yeah.
plant shop to
Yeah.
H.P. Lovecraft in the same sentence.
Well, you know,
Cool.
you're getting like letters from people that are very cryptic, and you get like these clues and stuff. But basically, like you're running this little plant shop, and customers come in. They ask for a specific type of flower or plant, and then you have to use a little horticulture guide that has sketches and descriptions of different flowers with like little names, and you have to kind of figure out with these clues which plant they actually want. You can put labels on them, so you label your plants, water them to pass the time. You have like a map that you can explore. So people will send you letters like like I was wandering through the forest and I found this gorgeous flower that enraptured me and I couldn't stop staring at it. And then like it tells you where it's at and you can find that flower and then put it in your shop and sell it later. But it's just got really cool, cozy vibes. It's like raining all the time. The music is super chill. There's no time crunch to it. Like as you progress and you take in customers, the day will progress and eventually you'll close for the day. And then you have like these cards that show up when you go to sleep at night. You pull them out and it's like a clue as to just a random location on the map. And then you kind of like have to look around. You find that location and there might be like another flower there or some other thing there. But yeah, it's a very fun little cozy game that I think I'm going to continue to play. It's on sale right now on Steam. I think it's on sale until the 4th. But yeah, it's $7 and change. Normally about $15, I want to say, and it's also on the Switch, Xbox, and I think that might be it. I'm not sure if it's on PlayStation.
You
or
know what
anything
it
else
looks
that.
like, Buck? It plays kind of like a lot of those bartender sim games that exist now.
Yeah.
I just want
Like
to play
Valhalla.
Valhalla again. Yeah.
Yeah, or
Mhm.
coffee talk or something like
Same
this.
thing.
But
You get used to
yeah.
what their favorite drinks are. Hey, give me the
Right.
regular. Oh shit, was that the guy that liked the gin and the space fuzz, or the guy that liked the?
In this one, though, it'd be a person comes in and asks you for a plant,
Mm-hmm.
and you
Yeah.
like
Like they're like, oh, I'm having trouble sleeping, and so like you go, and then it'll have the name of the flower, and sometimes like you can add labels to them yourself as you
Oh, cool.
kind of play, and you can just sit there. Like I spent about an hour just going through the manual, like going through the actual like horticulture guide, and then just trying to identify flowers, so that way I knew what it was when people would come up and ask for it. The other cozy thing is that you have a little cat, and the cat is there. You can pet the cat, and he goes and starts purring and stuff. Yeah, it's nice. It
Fun.
feels good in the ears and everything. I don't know. It's a whole vibe. Like it's very, very cozy, comfortable. Yeah, I don't know. And there was
Cute. It's
one
on the
more
Switch
thing
too.
there.
Yeah.
One more thing.
What was the
one more
game
thing.
called again?
It's Strange Horticulture.
Strange Horticulture.
Man, there was something else I
Strange
wanted to say
horticulture.
about it.
Straight.
All right.
No, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a gorgeous little game. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm definitely gonna keep playing this one. It's cool.
Nice. Mr. Venicor, what did you wrap up and play today?
Nothing screams cozy and relaxing to me more than piano music. So Demo Reborn, Deemo, Demo Reborn. It's made by Sony Music Entertainment back in 2019. It's actually a remake of a mobile game.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
It is literally Buck has this whole like stand-up piano music game called Nostalgia. It's literally the PlayStation version of Nostalgia that you can play with a controller.
Oh,
And the story is very simple. It's this young girl who has who fell from the sky, lost her past, and she encounters this creature called Demo who plays the piano all alone. And the story is it's in this world of a tree house, and the more you play music to the tree, the more it will grow. And if it reaches the window to the top of the world where the girl fell from, I wonder what happens.
It goes from the window to the wall. Little John shows up, and then it's really popping.
You
This
ruined
game-
it. It is
this-
no
I
longer
know.
cozy. You fucking ruined it.
This game looks adorable. How do the mechanics of playing the piano work on the controller?
Yeah.
It's pretty. It's actually not too complex. You've got like you've got like 3 keys on the left, 3 keys on the right. They're like groups of keys on the piano. So like this section will be one button, this section will be another button, and it's just like shoulder button, left and right, and then other shoulder button, square and circle. And it breaks it out into 6 like sections, and that's it. And it's very fun. It's very chill. I mean, of course, unless you want to play on expert mode and channel your inner DDR fiend. But no, if you just play on like easy or medium or whatever, there's some great tracks. The fun fact, Nobuo Uematsu had a DLC with the Black Mages on that game. It's on sale right now on PlayStation. It's a PS4 game. It's 70% off right now until the 6th of January 2024. It's $11.99. I would highly recommend it. It's a really, really cool game. If you like music games at all, it's worth $12. It really is.
I like this art
No
style.
question.
It's really
Yeah,
cute.
this looks
Demo Reborn. That's the title.
Demo Reborn.
We've got a little bit of extra time, so I'm gonna bring one more that I almost picked that I played this week. That truly kicks ass. If you know me, you know I like weird esoteric stuff. And this week I played Hypnospace Outlaw.
Okay.
Has anybody seen this game?
See you, Space Cowboy.
Just do yourself a favor and Google it really quick.
Looking at it right now. Wow, that is cool.
Hypnospace Outlaw. I played it on Game Pass.
What am I looking at right now?
I recommend playing it on a computer. So to summarize what this game is, you are an internet enforcer in an alternate world 1999.
At no point in that sentence did I have any idea what you were going to say next.
Yeah. There is a new thing called Hypnospace out. There's basically you get all of this exposition via a AOL introduction style tutorial, and the fake storyline or whatever is that someone has invented in this world a band that you wear on your head so that when you sleep, instead of going to boring old sleep, you can go into hypnospace.
What?
Essentially the internet, but in your dreams. And the internet.
Mac, what the fuck am I looking at right now?
The internet
Oh,
is
he's
essentially
just done acid.
Yeah, right.
you just done acid. Bing. So it's a lot, but what you end up actually doing in the game, how you actually play, is that the interface of the game is the fake desktop of your enforcer desktop. So it is the computer that you, the internet cop, use to basically scroll through content on the internet and find like illegal content and ban it. So it's kind of like Papers, Please, or something like this, where you're trying to
Papers,
find.
Please.
And the internet, it reminds me of that Tim and Eric sketch where the guy's like, I want to go on the internet, but I'm afraid of e-worms and e-viruses. And it's okay, I have the internet on CD. Like, it's complete with 6 websites.
Oh my god!
But in this game,
everything about this game reminds me of Timothy.
there are hundreds of websites in this game that are just like Web 1.0 websites, like complete with auto playing music that starts when you enter them. And it is so funny and so strange. So like the first
Wow.
mission has you searching down copyright infringement. Someone is
Oh my
using
gosh.
like a fish version of Mickey Mouse without legal consent, and you aren't told where, and so you have to find it. And the way you do that is by searching the internet database. So basically, as this special cop, you get to not so much Google, but it's like when you actually search like a network computer. You know what I mean? Like it's just holding files. You can just, as if you're in a file explorer, search the internet for keywords and things. So I search the character in question's name, and lo and behold, several sites come up that are talking about him, and one of them is using his image illegally. And you ban it.
Congratulations.
And then there's a
So
sort of
funny.
Inscription style subplot that's going on where
Oh,
one
cool.
of the other cops gives you a game to play called Outlaw. And when you play it, it crashes your headset, quote unquote, and the game crashes.
Oh.
And then when you restart the game, there's a time skip that says 3 weeks later. And there's like, I haven't gotten but like maybe 10 hours into it, and it seems
Wow.
very mysterious and spooky and sort of like
That's cool.
something is going on. But Hypnospace Outlaw, it's cozy because it literally, I mean, you get sent files via email, and you have to open up the attachment and download them, and then go to your downloads and drag them to your desktop to make shortcuts, so you don't have to click on them every time you want to heal your desktop after it's been infected with a virus because you went on an illegal website because
Oh,
you're a
man.
space cop or
I
whatever.
love one of these screenshots.
It's so
Is a Y2K joke.
Oh my
It's straight
God.
up is like, are you prepared for the year 2000?
Because it's 1999
yeah.
in the world.
You
Damn,
really
this
like
looks
to
like
awesome.
a fever dream of a game.
you
All
really
the
like to do
overzealous
things.
Twitter users out there, congratulations! You can finally police the internet.
Yeah.
Here's a
It's
game for
literally-
you
it's
in the safety of your own home.
from the safety of your own home.
Matt just likes to
Wow.
do things that are real life but not
God.
real life, like unpacking and packing things and browsing the internet.
It's cozy because it is.
So
It's
funny.
like you're just
Yeah.
sitting. You get a media player, and there are websites that have
love it.
music that you can download, and then you can
Illegally.
put them into your media player. And no, you buy them with the fake
Oh,
currency
sorry.
that you earn from being
Legally.
a space cop.
Sorry.
Yeah, just like how I bought a desktop background that's a bunch of hot dogs. So every time I start up the game, there's just a bunch of hot dogs on the back of the screen.
Oh, fun!
It's
I love the
awesome.
deep fried images. Like
Hypno
everything.
Yeah.
Space Outlaw. Go if you have Game Pass, go play it. If not, and you want to just chill out, when you type things in the game, it makes like the '80s keyboard sound like the really thick clicks, and it's just
Perfect.
it's very cozy and comfy, but also very strange. Very strange. Hypno Space Outlaw.
I love it.
All right, and that brings us to our final section of the show. All right, we're here with our final portion of the show. It's, of course, our What Else You Got? And this week for What Else You Got? I am bringing a YouTube video to the crew. Specifically, this is a YouTube video by the YouTuber Adam Millard. Adam Millard. I'm sorry, Adam. Adam Millard, I believe is his name. Hey, the name of the video is Why the Longing Takes 400 Days to Play. So a game that I almost brought to the table today is a game that is for the Switch, and it's for Steam, and I want to say, I think it's multi-platform for everything, but it's called The Longing, and it is a game where you play a little goblin henchman guy who is waiting for an ancient king to wake up. And the way you play the game is you have to wait for 400 days.
Huh.
Time runs when the game isn't playing, but basically you are a little goblin guy who moves so slowly. So you have this little map that you can explore, and you can do things like interact with the bookshelf. There's War and Peace is in the game, and you can read War and Peace in real time if you want. And you can also like tidy up the cave. You can like
Oh my
gather
gosh.
like mushrooms to do like extra like curricular activity, but over
Whoa.
time the map will get bigger. But when I say over time, I'm talking like when the game starts, there's a small patch of moss that you can climb on, but it doesn't take you anywhere. But after a real life month has gone by, the moss grows so big that you can climb it and get up to an area that was once not accessible to you.
Cool. Is it in real time?
Oh my
like
God.
it's in
Real
real time?
Time.
That's
So you have
wild.
to wait. You have to wait. So
Oh.
it takes over a year to get to the end of this game. You cannot make it go any faster.
Wow.
And so this guy, this would take, I think he's got like maybe a 20-minute long YouTube video on it. Like I said, it's called Why the Longing Takes 400 Days to Play. And it was such a cool game idea. And I thought I would love to bring this, but I haven't played this game. And so I don't know much about it. But this guy does an excellent job articulating the insanity of this game that takes an entire year for you to complete. But yeah, Adam Millard's Why the Longing Takes 400 Days to Play.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would have been a good time game, honestly.
I know. That's why I almost, like I said, I almost brought it,
Yeah.
but I was like, you know what? I'm
Yeah.
gonna make it my what else you got? Because, like I said, since I haven't played it, I'll just bring this guy's video and say, just go watch it. Go watch it because it's an insane looking game. It has a 4-hour long trailer on YouTube.
What? wait, what?
That's commitment to
Because
a
the
joke.
character has to
Just want
walk
to make sure
from-
that you just want to make sure that you are ready for this game.
Yeah,
If you can
Wow,
if you can last for that.
because it's just the character walking from the bottom of the level to the
Gosh.
top of the level, and he moves so slowly that that's how long it takes him.
Are you stuck in an iron lung? Do you want to play a video game?
Oh man, hold on. I'm looking this up on YouTube.
The
This is
longing.
insane.
All right, Buck,
Hmm.
what else you got?
So a couple times a year, we go over to Mr. Venicor's man cave, and we have an anime day. And I think we still have to
Hell yeah.
solidify our date for January because some of us are going to MagFest in January also. But we've got our anime day coming up in January or so, and this time around we are watching the original Bubblegum Crisis OVA.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I'm
right.
super
Sexy
excited
show.
about. I'm looking back at all that kind of stuff there too, and I'm like, yeah, I saw AD Police. Yeah, I saw a couple of the spinoffs for this. Did I never watch the original Bubblegum Crisis? And
I'm so
No,
excited for you. I'm so
I'm-
excited for you.
I-
You're lucky.
I love
I've
Power
never heard of
Rangers
this.
and I love Blade Runner. So it's like all the things I love mixed together in an anime.
Yeah, Bubblegum Crisis
Yeah.
spanned from 1987 to 1991. It was originally scheduled to be 13 episodes, and it was cut short to just 8. But the pitch is the adventures of Night Sabers, an all-female group of mercenaries who don powered exoskeletons and fight numerous problems, most frequently rogue robots.
It's so good.
Pretty
It's-
kick-ass.
It's so good. I mean, if
This
you're
is
not hooked after
rad.
one episode, I don't know who you are. It's not for you.
It's a bunch of Iron
It's
Men
wonderful.
ladies riding motorcycles and fighting
Yes.
It's
big,
wonderful.
kick-ass looking villainous robots.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that looks rad.
Oh, it's so good. I can't wait.
Complete with all of the butt rock centric 80s anime stuff.
There's not a lot of
Let's
90s
go.
anime, 80s and 90s anime I didn't watch, but that is
Let's
definitely
go.
a major one that slipped through the cracks on me. And it's
Yeah.
funny, like I said, there's spin-off shows in the same universe, like AD Police, and I know I watched that more than once. I probably had the VHS back in the day. It
It's got a good theme song too, Bubblegum Crisis, if I'm not mistaken.
was good stuff.
Raph, what else you got?
Well, the big thing with me right now is that I bought Baldur's Gate.
Out of
Yeah,
here.
you
boy.
did, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah, you did.
I fucking love it. I haven't had much time to play it, but yeah, so
We'll see you in
far
2
it
months.
is- Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, no, this is gonna consume so much of my time. I can already tell. I mean, not much to say about it that hasn't already been said. Baldur's Gate is awesome. I mean, I've played Divinity 2, which is the same studio and stuff, but this is just like just a
It's a
whole
different
other
level.
level. Like a whole level above that. I'm like, wow, this is incredible. You know, the detail. I don't know. I mean, I've never played a CRPG where I could like jump. You know, I could just jump from one place to another, or like
Right.
climb things.
Which sounds
Like,
silly,
when you're-
but it's
It
true.
sounds stupid,
No,
but
you're
I swear
playing-
to God, Elden Ring did it as well. They were like, what if jump? What
yeah,
if,
we
what
were
if,
playing
what if
last
John-
night, and, you know, I was like, oh, how do I get over here? And like Mac was just like, oh, you can just go up this way. I'm like, oh, I can climb on that? What? I didn't know I could do that.
both of the roommates in the house have it, and I just started back over in both of their games, and in both of them already, I have gone to places that I did not go to at my 70 hours of gameplay.
Isn't
And
that
I was
great?
like, oh shit,
Isn't that great?
this game's
Yeah.
awesome. I never found these mud guys over behind the druids or whatever. Like, there's a whole mud town here. What is this? I was like,
I missed Mudtown.
maybe I needed to kill all of the druids like my friend did, just randomly.
Fine.
It's an absolutely stellar video game.
Yeah, no, I'm having a blast with it. I'm looking forward to really putting some time into it.
I think right after we're done with this.
Most likely,
I think-
yeah, most
I gotta go
likely.
Big
Play some
facts,
more
big
motherfucking
facts.
Baldur's Gate.
Absolutely.
You will
baby.
stream it
Yeah.
in Discord so that we can watch you.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, Mr. Vinegor, let's close out with what else you got.
No, man. Myself, Buck, and Buck's son played One-Armed Robber last night. That that
good stuff,
free
right?
that free to play
Oh my
Steam
God.
game where it's like heist or payday.
Yeah,
It's like
Payday.
payday. But you only have one arm, so you have to pick up the duffel bag,
So
put it
good.
on the ground,
Yeah.
get the money,
Yeah.
and physically drop the
How
money.
do we put the money in the bag?
and
Oh
my
miss
God,
over and
yeah.
over into the duffel bag. We
Yeah,
played
miss.
we played the tutorials and like 2 rounds of it, and Buck and I were like, "Are we good? Yeah, we're good. I'm good.
Yeah.
I got my money's worth. It was free.
I got my exactly.
You guys should check out One Arm Cook because that was I actually enjoyed One Arm Cook a whole lot more. Like we played that, you know, we played a
Oh,
couple of
man.
rounds of One Arm Robber. It was fun, but then
It was
we
fun.
played One
It
Arm
was
Cook.
cool.
We played that for like 4 hours. It was so much fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
Later
good.
in One Arm Robber, you get some serious ass guns and shit, and you get like
Yeah.
C4 and all sorts of stuff to help you. It's really hard to use all of
Yeah.
it. Still,
You're
it's
right.
all
Yeah.
really, really hard to use, but that's
very
kind of fun.
very fun. I would encourage checking it out.
Yeah.
You know, if it's your thing or not, you spent nothing.
Exactly.
So-
Right.
That was fun, and I hope everybody has an awesome New Year. Truly.
Oh yeah.
All right, that is our show. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe. Join us next week, and we're going to be playing video game Name That Ugh. What is video game Name That Ugh? Well, tune in to find out. I'd like to thank Crunkwitch for the use of our theme song, Clash of the Droids. That song is awesome. Make sure to check them out on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, anywhere you can. We absolutely love Crunkwitch here. And I personally would like to direct you to RetroGameTreasure.com. Owned and operated by Buck, aka the Mega Buck himself. It is a subscription service that sends you bespoke boxes of games every month. Every major console from Atari 2600 to the PS4 generation, these are tailored to your collection. You'll never get a game you can't play. Retro Game Treasure, obsessed with video games since 1985. My name is Max Stein, and I love the Game Treasure podcast. It's so bad.
It's so bad.